Olivia Chen stood on the balcony of their luxury beachfront villa, the Tahitian sunset painting the horizon in violent reds and golds that matched the storm inside her. She gripped her phone so tightly her knuckles blanched white against the screen, displaying the photo that had arrived moments ago. In it, her husband Ryan lay asleep in this very bed, their anniversary bed, his arm draped possessively around a woman Olivia recognized as Meredith, the work colleague who had mysteriously needed to attend the same resort management conference. The anonymous text had come with a simple message. Took these yesterday when they didn't know I was in housekeeping. Thought you should see what happens when you go to your spa appointments. Sorry. Through the glass doors, Olivia could see Ryan in the shower, washing away evidence of his afternoon activities before their anniversary dinner. He was actually humming, as steam clouded the bathroom. She looked down at the bottle of champagne chilling in its silver bucket, the $600 vintage he had. Ordered because you deserve only the best. Liv, and felt her body begin to shake. 12 years of marriage. 2 children. Countless sacrifices she had made for his career, moving 3 times across the country, always the supportive wife who understood important business dinners and weekend conferences. The phone buzzed again. Another picture loaded. This time they were in the resort pool at night, Ryan's hands places that made Olivia's stomach heave. The timestamp showed 1:17 a.m., while she'd been asleep, believing he was working late on a presentation. As Ryan's shower stopped, Olivia wiped her tears and made a decision. She wasn't going to scream. She wasn't going to break down. Not yet. Instead, she set her phone face down and poured 2 glasses of champagne. This paradise would become her battlefield, and Ryan had no idea what was coming. 3 months earlier. The Marshall account is officially ours, Ryan announced as he burst through their front door, his tie loosened and a triumphant grin stretching across his handsome face. At 42, Ryan Chen still turned heads with his athletic build and the confident swagger that had made him one of the youngest partners at Latitude Hospitality Group. Olivia looked up from her laptop where she'd been editing photos for a client. Her freelance photography business had finally started to gain traction after years of putting it on hold to raise their children and support Ryan's career. That's amazing, she said, genuinely thrilled. The Marshall account meant developing luxury resorts across the Pacific. Ryan's dream project and the culmination of years of networking and strategic career moves. He swept her into his arms and spun her around their kitchen. We're celebrating tonight. I already called your mom to keep the kids. Reservations at Maison in an hour. Ryan, I look terrible. I've been editing all day. You never look terrible, he said, kissing her neck. But wear that black dress I love. This is big, Liv. Everything changes now. At Maison, over candlelight and expensive wine, Ryan couldn't stop talking about the project. The flagship property will be in Tahiti, completely eco-sustainable but with every luxury imaginable. I'll be flying out next week for the initial survey. Next week? But Ellie has her recital. I know, Ryan said, his excitement dimming slightly. I hate missing it, but this is just the first of many trips. And listen. He reached across the table to take her hand. The best part is I'm taking you with me for one of them. Marshall wants me there for their annual leadership retreat in July. July? But that's when the kids are at summer camp and… Exactly. Ryan squeezed her hand. It'll be our anniversary week. 12 years deserves something special, right? All expenses paid at their most exclusive property. White sand beaches, private villa. Olivia felt a rush of warmth. Between their careers and parenting their 10-year-old son Noah and 8-year-old daughter Ellie, romance had taken a back seat. That sounds incredible, she admitted. You deserve it. We deserve it. Ryan raised his glass. To us. To finally having everything we've worked for. Over the following months, Ryan's travel schedule intensified. 2 days in Tahiti became a week. Quick trips to the corporate office in San Francisco multiplied. Olivia managed everything at home, shuttling kids to activities, maintaining her small photography business, and trying not to resent the growing absences. I've been assigned a development team, Ryan explained during one of his brief homestays. We're finalizing the design concepts before the July retreat. Is anyone on the team that I know? Olivia asked, folding laundry while they talked. A few familiar faces, Ryan said vaguely. Meredith from marketing will be coordinating with the local tourism board. Remember her from the Christmas party? Olivia paused, a half-folded shirt in her hands. She remembered Meredith, tall, confident, with an advanced degree from Cornell and a laugh that commanded attention. The one who just got divorced? Did she? I hadn't heard that, Ryan said, though something in his tone made Olivia look up. He was studying his phone, not meeting her eyes. Anyway, I'll be working with her team closely on this. In the weeks before their anniversary trip, Olivia noticed subtle changes in Ryan. He started working out more intensely. He bought new cologne. His texts became shorter, less frequent when he traveled. Twice, she called him at night in his hotel and got his voicemail. He always had explanations. In the hotel gym, dinner with clients, poor reception. Each explanation was plausible. Each added to a growing unease she couldn't quite name. The night before they left for Tahiti, Olivia found him packing his suitcase with uncharacteristic care. New swim trunks still with tags. Expensive shirts she hadn't seen before. Trying to impress someone, she joked, but watched his reaction carefully. Just trying not to embarrass you, he said smoothly. This resort is next level. We'll be around Marshall's entire executive team. Will your whole development team be there too? Olivia asked casually. Some of them. They'll be working while we're celebrating our anniversary. He zipped his suitcase and pulled her into his arms. Don't worry, I've arranged for us to have plenty of alone time. This trip is about us, Liv. Olivia wanted to believe him. She needed to believe him. When they arrived in Tahiti, the resort exceeded even her expectations. Their private villa stood on stilts over impossibly blue water, with glass floor panels revealing tropical fish swimming below. A personal concierge introduced himself and explained the available amenities. Private chef, in-room spa treatments, sunset cruises. Mr. Chen, there's a welcome reception for the Marshall leadership at 7 p.m. on the main terrace, the concierge said. And Mrs. Chen, we've arranged a special island spa experience during that time, as requested. Olivia turned to Ryan with a questioning look. I thought you'd enjoy it, Ryan said quickly. The executive stuff will be boring, all shop talk. You can meet everyone at dinner afterward. The spa treatment was indeed spectacular, a 3-hour ritual of indigenous ingredients and techniques that left Olivia feeling boneless with relaxation. She returned to the villa to find Ryan dressed for dinner, checking his watch. There you are. How was it? He asked, kissing her cheek. Amazing, she said. But I missed you. I thought this trip was about us spending time together. It is. It absolutely is, Ryan assured her. Tomorrow is all ours. Today was just logistics, getting the work stuff out of the way. At dinner, Olivia finally met the team Ryan had been working with so intensely. Among them was Meredith Davis, more stunning in person than Olivia remembered, with sun-streaked hair and a designer dress that clung to her athletic frame. So wonderful to finally meet the woman behind the man, Meredith said, air-kissing Olivia's cheeks. Ryan talks about you constantly, does he? Olivia said, noticing how Meredith's hand lingered on Ryan's arm. Funny, he's barely mentioned the team to me. A flash of something, recognition perhaps, crossed Meredith's face before she smiled brilliantly. Well, we've all been working insane hours. I'm sure he just wanted to disconnect when he was home with you. Throughout dinner, Olivia watched them. The inside jokes. The finishing of each other's sentences. The way Ryan leaned slightly toward Meredith when she spoke. None of it definitive, all of it unsettling. Later that night, Ryan made love to her with an intensity that both thrilled and confused her. Afterward, as he slept, Olivia stared at the ceiling, listening to the gentle lap of waves beneath their villa. Was she imagining things? Letting insecurity cloud what should be a perfect anniversary? The next day, their actual anniversary, Ryan surprised her with a private snorkeling excursion. They swam among coral reefs and colorful fish, holding hands underwater. capturing photos that would look perfect on their holiday cards. Happy anniversary, Liv, Ryan said as they lounged on the boat afterward. 12 years. Can you believe it? Sometimes it feels like yesterday, Olivia said, studying his face in the bright sunlight. Other times it feels like we've lived several lifetimes. All good ones, I hope. He squeezed her hand. Mostly, she said. I've been thinking about that lately. How much we've both changed since we met. Ryan tensed slightly. Changed how? Just evolved. You were this ambitious business student who wanted to climb the corporate ladder. I was going to be a famous photographer traveling the world. And now I'm an ambitious business partner still climbing ladders. He laughed. And you're an incredibly talented photographer who chose family first. Chose, Olivia repeated. That's an interesting word for it. Ryan sat up. What does that mean? Nothing. Just we make choices, don't we? Every day. Big ones, small ones. She met his eyes directly. Even on anniversaries. A shadow of unease crossed his face. Liv, is something wrong? Before she could answer, Ryan's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, then quickly turned it face down. Work. I told them not to bother me today unless it was an emergency. Is it? Olivia asked. No, just Meredith with a question about tomorrow's presentation. It can wait. He put his phone away and pulled Olivia close. Nothing is more important than today. Than you. That afternoon, Ryan suggested they each enjoy some solo relaxation time before their anniversary dinner. You mentioned wanting to try that beachfront yoga class, he said. Why don't you do that while I get in a quick workout? Then we'll get ready for dinner. The yoga class was scheduled for 90 minutes. When it ended early, Olivia decided to surprise Ryan at the gym. He wasn't there. The attendant checked the log. Mr. Chen hasn't been in today, ma'am. A cold feeling settled in Olivia's stomach as she walked back to their villa. She told herself there were innocent explanations. He could be at the business center, meeting with his boss, shopping for an anniversary gift. When she approached their villa, she saw Ryan on their private deck with his back to her, speaking intently on his phone. She slowed her steps. I know, she heard him say. But she's suspicious already. No, I can't tonight. It's our anniversary dinner. Tomorrow during her massage appointment. Yes, I want to. You know I want to. Olivia froze, her heart hammering against her ribs. She backed away before he could see her, nearly running to the beach where she sat staring at the waves until her breathing steadied. That night at dinner, she watched Ryan order champagne and present her with a sapphire necklace that must have cost thousands. He toasted to their marriage, their partnership, their future. To choices, Olivia said, raising her glass. And consequences. Ryan faltered slightly, then clinked his glass against hers. To us, he countered. The next morning, Olivia pretended to sleep as Ryan slipped out of bed earlier than necessary for his presentation prep. When he suggested she enjoy her scheduled 4-hour spa experience, you deserve to be pampered. Liv, she smiled and agreed. Instead of going to the spa, she doubled the usual tip for the housekeeping staff and asked them not to service the room until evening. Then she found a secluded spot at the resort's cafe with a clear view of their villa and waited. An hour later, she watched Meredith, wearing a casual sundress, approach their villa and knock on the door. Ryan let her in immediately. Olivia's hands shook as she paid her bill and walked slowly back to the path leading to their row of overwater bungalows. She stood on the deck of the neighboring vacant villa, hidden by a decorative screen but with a clear view into their bedroom. Inside, Ryan and Meredith were already intertwined on the bed where he had made love to. Olivia just hours before. Olivia raised her camera, the professional one Ryan had given her for Christmas, and began to document everything. Back in their villa after her spa day, Olivia maintained a perfect facade. She smiled at dinner with Ryan's colleagues. She wore the sapphire necklace and accepted compliments graciously. She laughed at all the right moments and held Ryan's hand across the table. No one would have guessed she had spent the afternoon methodically executing the first phase of her plan. You've been quiet tonight, Ryan said as they walked back to their villa under a canopy of stars. Massage wear you out? Actually, I feel more awake than ever, Olivia said. Like I'm seeing everything clearly for the first time. Ryan gave her an odd look. That's cryptic, is it? She smiled. I was thinking we should invite some people over for drinks tomorrow night. To our villa? Who did you have in mind? Oh, your boss, James. Maybe the project lead, Catherine? And Meredith, of course. Since you two work so closely together. Ryan stumbled slightly. We don't need to do the work thing at our villa. There are perfectly nice bars here, but I insist, Olivia said sweetly. I haven't been able to really get to know your team, especially Meredith. I'd like to hear more about how you two collaborate. Unless there's some reason you don't want them in our villa? She stopped walking and faced him directly. Is there, Ryan? He swallowed visibly, then recovered. Of course not. If that's what you want, we'll host drinks tomorrow night. The next day passed in excruciating slowness. Ryan attended meetings while Olivia arranged for champagne delivery and called the resort's event coordinator to set up their deck for a small gathering. She requested specific glassware. Meredith's fingerprints were all over the water glasses from yesterday's visit, carefully preserved by Olivia before housekeeping arrived. When Ryan returned to change for dinner, he found Olivia sitting calmly on their deck, gazing out at the ocean. I invited everyone for 9 p.m., she said without turning around. I hope that works. Sure, Ryan said, loosening his tie. Listen, about that. James had to leave early for a family emergency. And Catherine has some deadline she's working on, so it might just be a couple people. Including Meredith? Olivia asked innocently. Ryan hesitated just a beat too long. I think so. If she's free. Oh, I already confirmed with her, Olivia said, finally turning to look at him. She seemed very eager to come. Ryan's smile faltered. Great. That's great. That evening, just before 9 p.m., Olivia dressed with special care in a white sundress Ryan had always loved. She arranged food on platters and made sure the champagne was chilling. Meredith arrived first, wearing a red dress that left little to the imagination. This villa is gorgeous, she gushed, looking around. I've only seen the standard overwater bungalows. Have you? Olivia asked, handing her a glass of champagne. I thought this was your first time at the property. It is, Meredith said quickly. I meant in photos, from the marketing materials. Ryan emerged from the bedroom, his expression freezing momentarily when he saw the two women together. Meredith, glad you could make it. Wouldn't miss it, Meredith said, smiling too brightly, though it looks like I'm the only one who showed up. That's not entirely true, came a deep voice from the deck doorway. All three turned to see James Marshall, Ryan's boss and the owner of Marshall Luxury Properties, stepping into the villa. Hope I'm not crashing the party. Ryan went pale. James? I thought you had a family emergency. Did you? James looked confused. Not that I'm aware of. When Olivia called to invite me for drinks, I was delighted to accept. Ryan's eyes darted to Olivia, who smiled serenely. I must have misunderstood, he said weakly. Well, I'm glad you're all here, Olivia said, gesturing to the seating area. Please make yourselves comfortable. Ryan and I were just about to share some exciting news. Ryan's confusion was palpable as he followed her lead, sitting stiffly beside her on the couch. We were? Yes, darling. Olivia maintained her smile as she reached for her tablet. I've been working on a special anniversary gift. A photo presentation of our journey together. Oh, how lovely, Meredith exclaimed with false enthusiasm, perching on the edge of a chair, as far from Ryan as possible. It really is, Olivia agreed, connecting her tablet to the large flat-screen TV mounted on the wall. I call it reflections, as in what we see when we look closely at still water or glass walls. The first images appeared on screen. Beautiful shots of the resort, the ocean at sunset, local flowers. Then suddenly the image changed to Ryan and Meredith entering their villa the previous day. Ryan choked on his champagne. Liv, what is... Just documenting our anniversary trip, Olivia said calmly as the slideshow continued, showing increasingly intimate images of Ryan and Meredith together in the villa. Or should I say your anniversary trips? Plural? Meredith stood abruptly, her face ashen. I should go. Please don't, Olivia said, her voice hardening for the first time. We're just getting to the good part. The next slide showed Ryan's text messages with Meredith, screenshots Olivia had taken from his phone while he slept. Months of exchanges, planning their rendezvous around Olivia's schedule, mocking her trusting nature. She actually believes I'm working late again. Too easy. My wife, the photographer, never notices what's right in front of her lens.
Asterisk. James Marshall stood, his expression thunderous. Ryan, is this what you've been doing instead of preparing the presentation for our investors? Ryan had gone from pale to gray. James, I can explain. I particularly liked this part, Olivia interrupted, advancing to a video clip where Ryan and Meredith discussed using company funds to extend their affair. The creative accounting to cover your getaways. Very entrepreneurial. James watched the screen in shocked silence. Olivia, please. Ryan finally managed, his voice strangled. We can talk about this privately. Like you talked about me privately? Olivia kept her voice steady even as tears threatened. Like you laughed about how I'd never find out? About how I was too busy with the kids and my little photography hobby to notice. Meredith made another move toward the door. Olivia stepped in front of her. I have a few questions before you go, Olivia said. Was I the joke of the office? The clueless wife? Did everyone know except me? No, Meredith whispered, unable to meet her eyes. It wasn't like that. What was it like then? Explain it to me. Olivia's composure finally cracked. Explain why you thought it was okay to sleep with my husband in our anniversary bed. James cleared his throat. I think I should leave you to this discussion. He turned to Ryan, his expression cold. We'll talk tomorrow about your future with the company. Or lack thereof. As the door closed behind James, the villa fell into tense silence broken only by the gentle lapping of waves beneath them. You had no right, Ryan finally said, his shock giving way to anger. You've ruined everything. My career, my reputation. I ruined everything? Olivia's laugh was hollow. That's rich, Ryan. Tell me, when exactly did you decide our marriage vows had an expiration date? When did I become an inconvenience instead of a partner? It wasn't like that, Ryan insisted, running his hands through his hair. It was just, Meredith and I connected. It happened gradually. I never meant to hurt you. Yet here we are, Olivia said, gesturing to the room, to the images still frozen on the screen, to the shattered remains of their anniversary celebration. In paradise. With all your choices laid bare. Meredith took a tentative step toward the door again. I should. Yes, you should, Olivia agreed coldly. But know this, I've sent every photo, every video, every text to my lawyer, and to the company's HR department, and to the board of directors. Meredith's face crumpled. You've destroyed my career. No, Olivia corrected her. Your choices did that. Just like Ryan's choices destroyed our marriage. As Meredith fled the villa in tears, Olivia turned back to her husband of 12 years. Your things have been packed. I've arranged another villa for you on the other side of the resort. Live, please. Ryan's anger gave way to desperation. We can work through this. Couples therapy, a fresh start, whatever you want. What I want. Olivia considered this, looking around the luxury villa that was supposed to be the setting for their romantic anniversary. I want the last year of my life back. I want to unsee what I've seen. I want to unknow what I now know. Ryan reached for her hand. She stepped back. Since I can't have any of those things, I'll settle for you leaving. Now. The next morning, Olivia woke to pounding on her villa door. She had barely slept, alternating between rage, grief, and a strange, hollow numbness. She wrapped herself in the resort's plush robe and opened the door to find Ryan, unshaven and haggard. You've ruined everything, he said without preamble, pushing past her into the villa. James fired me. Effective immediately. The board is reviewing my entire department for financial irregularities. How inconvenient for you, Olivia said, her voice distant and cool. Finding out actions have consequences. This isn't just about me. Ryan exploded. What about our family? Our children? How are we supposed to pay the mortgage without my income? Did you think about that before your little revenge stunt? Did you think about our family when you were sleeping with Meredith? Olivia countered. Did you consider Noah and Ellie while you were charging hotel rooms to the company account? That's different. Is it? Explain how. Olivia crossed her arms. Explain how betraying our marriage, risking your career, and humiliating me was a careful, thoughtful choice, but me exposing the truth is reckless. Ryan paced the room like a caged animal. We could have handled this privately. Worked through it. Instead, you chose nuclear option. The nuclear option, Olivia repeated slowly. That's what you call being held accountable? You didn't just confront me. You deliberately destroyed my career. My reputation. For what? To punish me? To feel powerful for once. He threw his hands up. Congratulations, Olivia. You finally grew a backbone, and now we're both screwed. Something in Olivia snapped at his words. 12 years of supporting him, making herself smaller, accommodating his dreams while deferring her own, all culminating in this moment of breathtaking selfishness. Let me tell you what's going to happen now, she said, her voice deadly calm. You're going to listen very carefully, because I'm only saying this once. Ryan stopped pacing, taken aback by her tone. I've already spoken to my lawyer. I have documentation of your affair, your misuse of company funds, and your lies. The prenuptial agreement you insisted on has a fidelity clause. Remember that? Your family's idea to protect their son from gold diggers? Ryan's face drained of color. That clause works both ways. Which is why I made sure to document everything before confronting you, Olivia continued. As of this morning, half of our joint accounts have been transferred to my name only. I've also filed for emergency custody of Noah and Ellie, citing moral character concerns. You can't do that. They're my children too. Yes, they are. And you'll have visitation rights, supervised, initially, while the court evaluates your judgment. Olivia's voice finally broke. Do you have any idea what you've done to them? To us? 12 years, Ryan. 12 years of building a life that you were willing to throw away for what? Excitement? Ego? Was it worth it? Ryan sank onto the couch, his anger deflating into something like despair. I never meant for any of this to happen. It started as just attention. Validation. Meredith made me feel important, brilliant, desired. And I didn't. Olivia's laugh was bitter. I gave up my career dreams to follow yours. I raised your children while you networked. I managed our entire life so you could shine. What more was I supposed to do, Ryan? Cartwheels? Magic tricks? That's not fair, he protested weakly. No, it's not, Olivia agreed. None of this is fair. But it's reality. Our reality. The one you created choice by choice, lie by lie. Ryan stood and approached her, his eyes pleading. Liv, I know I don't deserve forgiveness. But I'm begging you, don't take the kids. Don't take everything I care about. Everything you care about, she repeated softly. That's the problem, Ryan. I should have been among those things. You are. You always have been. Actions speak louder, Olivia said, wrapping her arms around herself. And yours have been shouting for months. People make mistakes, Ryan insisted. Terrible, unforgivable mistakes. But I still love you. I still love our family. Please, Liv. Tell me what I can do to fix this. For a moment, looking at his anguished face, Olivia felt the pull of their shared history, the good years, the children they'd raised, the life they'd built together. Maybe there is nothing to fix, she finally said. Maybe some things, once broken, can't be repaired. Only replaced. I don't accept that, Ryan said desperately. We have too much history, too much connection to just throw it all away. That's exactly what you did, Olivia pointed out. In that bed right there. And in how many other hotel rooms over how many months? Ryan had no answer for that. The resort has arranged for your flight home tomorrow, Olivia said, moving toward the door. I'm staying the full week as planned. I need time to think about what comes next. And me? What am I supposed to do? For once in your life, Ryan, that's not my problem to solve. She opened the door. You've got all day to figure it out. I suggest you start with how you're going to explain to Noah and Ellie why Daddy won't be living at home anymore. As Ryan walked past her, he paused. I'll do whatever it takes, Liv. Whatever you need. Just, please don't give up on us completely. Olivia met his eyes, searching for the man she'd married 12 years ago. The woman who believed in us, above all else, doesn't exist anymore. You killed her. I'm just trying to figure out who takes her place. After he left, Olivia stood on the deck of their overwater villa, watching fish dart through the crystal-clear water below. For the first time in months, despite the pain and uncertainty, she felt something like peace. The weight of suspicion, of pretending not to know, had been lifted. Whatever came next would at least be real. And for now, that was enough. 6 months later, Olivia adjusted the aperture on her camera, framing the shot of the Manhattan skyline at sunset. The rooftop bar of the Redwood Hotel provided the perfect vantage point, fitting, since she was there to photograph its grand reopening for their marketing materials. These are stunning, said Catherine Winters, reviewing the digital previews on Olivia's laptop. As the new CEO of Marshall Luxury Properties, Catherine had been one of Olivia's first calls after returning from Tahiti. The board is going to love them. Thanks for taking a chance on me, Olivia said, setting up for the next series of shots. Not many companies would hire the woman who exposed their former VP's indiscretions. Catherine laughed. Are you kidding? Your attention to detail and unwillingness to accept anything less than complete integrity is exactly what we needed after the Ryan Chen debacle. The name still caused a small pang, but no longer the crushing pain of those first weeks after Tahiti. The divorce had been finalized in record time, with Ryan not contesting any of Olivia's terms. Whether from guilt or a desire to avoid further scandal, he had agreed to the custody arrangement, the financial settlement, even selling their house so Olivia could move the children to a new home closer to her mother. Now, as the hotel's exclusive photographer, Olivia traveled regularly, but on her own schedule, building the career she had deferred for so long. Her work had been featured in travel magazines, and she had just signed a contract for a coffee table book of luxury hotel photography. Miss Chen. A hotel staff member approached. There's someone here to see you. Says he has an appointment. Olivia checked her watch. That would be my 5 o'clock. Send him up, please. She turned to Catherine. Do you mind if we wrap up? This meeting is about Noah and Ellie. Of course not. Catherine gathered her things. I'll see you at the investor dinner tomorrow. After Catherine left, Olivia packed away her equipment and moved to a quiet corner table with 2 glasses of sparkling water already waiting. When Ryan appeared from the elevator, she noticed immediately how different he looked, thinner, with new lines around his eyes, but also more present somehow. Less glossy. Thanks for meeting me, he said, taking a seat across from her. Noah has his science fair next week, Olivia replied. I assume that's why you wanted to talk in person rather than through the lawyers? Ryan nodded. I'd like to be there. I know it's not my scheduled weekend, but that's fine, Olivia cut in. He'd like that. He's been working hard on his project. An awkward silence fell between them, filled with the ambient noise of the rooftop bar gradually coming to life as the workday ended. You look good, Liv, Ryan finally said. Happy. I am, she said, and realized with some surprise that it was true. Busy, but good busy. Work I love, time with the kids, my own space. Ryan nodded. I'm glad. You deserve that. He hesitated. I saw your photos in Travel and Leisure. The Singapore series. They were incredible. Thank you. Olivia sipped her water. How's the new job? After being fired from Marshall, Ryan had eventually found a position at a smaller development firm, a significant step down in prestige and salary, but employment nonetheless. Challenging, he admitted. Starting over at 43 isn't what I planned, but it's teaching me a lot. Olivia could see the effort it took for him to say that without bitterness. Progress, of a sort. And the therapy, she asked. Part of their custody agreement had required Ryan to attend regular counseling sessions. Ongoing. Hard. Necessary. He met her eyes directly. I've learned more about myself in the past 6 months than in the previous 42 years. Most of it hasn't been flattering. Growth rarely is, Olivia observed. Ryan leaned forward slightly. Liv, I know I have no right to ask anything of you beyond co-parenting. But I need you to know how deeply sorry I am, not just for the affair, but for years of taking you for granted. For making you feel like your dreams mattered less than mine. Olivia had heard variations of this apology before, but something in his voice, a rawness, an absence of the practiced charm that had once been so much a part of him, made her really listen this time. I believe you're sorry, Ryan, she said carefully. But that doesn't change where we are now. I know that, he said quickly. I'm not asking for reconciliation. I want you to know that while losing my job was devastating, losing you and our family was the real wake-up call. The real consequence that mattered. A server approached, offering menus. Olivia waved them away. Just the waters, thanks. When they were alone again, she studied the man she had spent 12 years loving, building a life with, raising children with. There was still so much familiarity. The way he ran his hand through his hair when nervous, the small scar above his eyebrow from a college rugby injury, but also a fundamental strangeness. This was no longer her husband. No longer her problem to manage or her partner to support. Meredith reached out to me, Olivia said, watching his reaction carefully. To apologize. Ryan's eyebrows rose. She did? When? Last month. Email. Olivia shrugged. She's in Seattle now. New job, fresh start. Said she was working the 12 steps. Ah. Ryan looked uncomfortable. I haven't spoken to her since Tahiti. I know. Olivia had checked, early on, driven by paranoia that the affair might have continued despite everything. But there had been nothing, no contact, no secret meetings. Another small mercy in a situation largely devoid of them. Liv, Ryan began hesitantly. If you could go back, before everything fell apart, is there anything I could have done differently? Any way I could have made you happy enough that none of this would have happened? The question caught her off guard. Not because she hadn't considered it herself, but because it revealed how little he still understood. That's not how it works, Ryan, she said gently. My happiness wasn't the problem. Your choices were. No amount of making me happy would have prevented you from cheating if you were determined to do so. Ryan absorbed this, nodding slowly. I think I'm finally starting to understand that. My therapist says I've spent my life looking for external validation instead of developing internal worth. Olivia couldn't help but smile slightly. That sounds about right. I'm trying to be better. For the kids, mainly. But also for myself. He looked out over the skyline, now bathed in golden light. I don't want to be the man I was in Tahiti. I don't like him very much. Good, Olivia said simply. That's a start. They sat in silence for a moment, not uncomfortable now but contemplative. In the distance, the first stars were becoming visible against the darkening sky. Do you think, Ryan hesitated, do you think you'll ever be able to forgive me? Olivia considered the question carefully. I think forgiveness is a process, not an event. I'm working on it for my own peace of mind more than anything else. But trust? That's different. I understand, Ryan said, though the pain in his eyes suggested otherwise. I should get going, Olivia said, gathering her bag. I promised the kids pizza and a movie tonight. Ryan stood with her. Thank you. For meeting me. For being civilized about all this. You had every right to hate me forever. Hate takes too much energy, Olivia said. And I need all of mine for moving forward. As they walked toward the elevator, Ryan asked, How are you really, Liv? Beyond the career success and the co-parenting logistics. Are you happy? Olivia thought about the question as they descended to the lobby. 6 months ago in Tahiti, she couldn't have imagined feeling anything but devastation. Yet here she was rebuilt and in many ways stronger. I'm at peace with where I am, she finally said. I'm rediscovering parts of myself that got lost somewhere in our marriage. It's not the life I planned, but it's becoming a life I value. In the grand lobby of the hotel, they paused before going their separate ways. Noah's science fair, Ryan confirmed. Tuesday at 7? Tuesday at 7, Olivia nodded. He'll be excited you're coming. As Ryan turned to leave, Olivia called after him. And Ryan, for what it's worth, I hope you find your peace too. He offered a small, genuine smile, not the dazzling one that had once charmed rooms full of investors, but something more honest. Thank you. That means more than you know. Outside, the early evening air was cool and fresh with possibility. Olivia hailed a taxi, giving the driver her new address, the brownstone where she and the children were building their new life, one day at a time. As the city lights blurred past the window, Olivia thought about the woman she had been in Tahiti, standing on that balcony with her world collapsing around her. She had survived that collapse. More than survived, she had found solid ground beneath the rubble. The taxi turned onto her street, and Olivia could see Noah and Ellie in the window with her mother, waiting for her return. Whatever lay ahead, career challenges, co-parenting complications, perhaps someday even new love, she would face it with a clarity that comes only from having seen the worst and discovered you're still standing. The betrayal had nearly broken her. But what had emerged from that breaking was entirely her own, hard one, authentically imperfect, and finally, completely free.
And that wraps up today's story. Now we want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments, and let's see how far these stories reach. If this story moved you or gave you chills, give it a like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories. One last thing, rate the story from 1 to 10 in the comments. Your feedback helps us bring you even better ones next time. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you being part of this storytelling journey.